Well played again, back-to-back player of the matches, but obviously a different position. But I thought that run chase was always going to be tactical with that kind of a surface. So talk us through that innings of yours.
Yeah, it was a slightly tricky wicket, but I think what helped me is just being behind the stumps for 20 overs and just watching how the wicket played. And I knew it was a I mean, from wicket keeping, I figured there was the ball sat in the wicket a little bit, but it was consistent throughout. It wasn't two pace, it was one pace, and it just sat in the wicket a little bit. So I knew what my shots are, so just wanted to get off to a good start, be aggressive initially, and then assess it from there, and that's what I did.
You mentioned about your shots. So what are the shots that you wanted to play and wanted to avoid on this surface?
Yeah, again, it depends on the conditions and the ground and the dimension and all of that stuff. But on a wicket like this, I knew what my pockets were to if I was going or if I was trying to hit a big six. I knew what pockets to target, and like I said, wicket keeping just gave me a bit of a feeler for how the other batters played and where they were dismissed and where were they able to hit sixes. So just those cues from behind the stumps really helped me, and just getting a few balls in. Got lucky with the drop catch, and yeah, this is my ground, this is my home. I know this better than anybody else, so yeah, I enjoy playing here.
The other important thing, and we were talking about it on comms as well, because you practice to hit those big sixes and power hitting and all that stuff, and then suddenly a match like this comes, and then you need to change your game a little bit. How difficult or how challenging is that?
Look, something that I've always done with my preparation is to whenever I go into practice, whatever kind of wicket that is, I try to adapt to that wicket and see how I can play on that wicket, even if it's practice. I'll put myself under pressure. If it's a wicket that is turning, I'll see where my shots are, what my shots are. I obviously experiment in practice and get out a couple of times, but at least it'll give me a fair idea where I can target what pockets. Like I said, I keep talking about pockets, but what areas can I target for boundaries? What are my six hitting options? Where are my singles? So stuff like that. So if I've always done that whenever I walked into training. I don't just go there and bat for hours and hours and keep slogging. Just I do that sometimes as well when I feel like I'm not getting flow and a rhythm. But generally, it's always like how can I master playing on different wickets, and that I think becomes second nature to you when you go into the middle.
Well, thank you for those insights. All the very best again for the rest of the season. Keep going, man.
Thank you. Yeah.